Hello, everyone. I wanted my first topic video to just be audio because this topic is real sensitive to me and I just felt more comfortable doing it this way. I chose this topic because there is too many people in the world suffering from depression and it seems like no one is willing to do anything about it or take it more seriously. For anyone who doesn't know what depression is, it's a mental health disorder characterized by persistently depressed mood or loss of interest in activities, causing significant impairment in daily life. Everyone who suffers from depression overcomes and copes with it different. So you can't expect someone to just get over it because it might not seem that big to you, but it is to them. Some of the symptoms you can look for is feeling sad and anxious or empty, feeling hopeless or pessimistic. Pessimistic is tending to see the worst aspects of things or believe that the worst will happen. Other symptoms are feeling guilty, worthless, or helpless, not enjoying things you used to enjoy, trouble with concentration, memory, or making decisions, sleeping too much or too little, appetite changes, gaining or losing weight, feeling restless or irritable, thoughts of suicide or death. My experience with depression started when I became older. I've went through a lot younger with my mom passing when I was 13. I didn't I wouldn't say I would say I was a little too young to really understand what death was. I did miss her. I did grieve, but not how I grieve now. Even though it's been almost 15 years, I still think about it to this day like, oh my gosh, she's not here. But it happened so long ago. It seemed like once you get older and start really needing the guidance of parents and older people, it's it's a whole different story. It's like I was young, my dad was still here, he spoiled me. I miss my mom, she did the same thing. It's like now that I'm out of high school and I'm grown, I have bills. It's just so much that like I had to like really just learn on my own. And that's what kind of I would say kind of puts me in a position like I really don't have anyone to talk to. Well, that parent figure. I have my dad, but he's a man. I would rather like talk to a woman. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And I do have different suggestions from friends that also are going through depression or went through depression and gave me, some ways that they cope with it or how they deal with it or how they overcame it. And I just I just feel as though like a lot of people they don't experience the same things when they coping or dealing with depression and they have their own ways of coping with it. Someone said, honestly, you have good days and bad days, but they get better. You don't overcome it. There are a lot of coping mechanisms. I'm in therapy. My therapist gives me different ways to cope. I prayed, went to therapy, and stopped letting past trauma control my future. I also got rid of all toxic people and learned to love myself. Someone said TV, sleep, and mind bending medicine. Not sure what that mind bending medicine is, but a lot of people have their different ways. People say get money, prayer, meditation, and music, working out, God. People said smoke. Prayer changes things. It is something that can change by the day. Tough battle, but it's a mental battle. I would I wouldn't seek doctors. They only prescribe meds. That's not going to help. They just tried different meds, and that only made me sleep and and feel even more down. Just pray. Stay positive. And I'm just going to explain what I do. I'm not going to read everyone's post, but I tend to read. I love talking to people. I love venting. If you're that type of friend or family member that will let me vent without any interruptions, and I feel comfortable with telling you something I'm going through, that is a plus. I love writing my feelings down, whether it's in a journal or just taking a piece of paper and writing it down and just reading it back to myself. That makes me feel a little better. I just love talking to people, not wanting someone to feel sorry. I just want someone to give me advice. Maybe if they went through depression or they're coping with it, give me a way I can cope with it. Give me a way I can overcome this illness. I don't like feeling this way. I understand the issues and the problems that's going on in my life. Some of them I don't have control over, and I just need a better way to cope with everything that's going on. Depression is something that shows itself differently for everyone. There is no one person or one story or one experience that can make someone universally understand truly how depression alters the lives of those of us who suffer from it. I can't make anyone understand how it is for everyone, but I can tell you how it alters my life, and maybe that will help people understand how all encompassing it really is. Why so many people don't get help for depression? With thorough research, of course, depression affects millions of adults in the US each year, but a good portion of people with the mental disorder aren't getting help. It could be because of the medicine, not wanting to take it, embarrassment, not confident that the help will work, you don't have the money for it, your insurance doesn't cover it, or you just don't have insurance at all. 25 million Americans suffer from depression each year. This is more research I've done on a website called theovernight.org. I did a lot of research, and I didn't want to make the video or audio super long. So I did just get like a little information, but I did get some. So over 50% of all people who die by suicide suffer from major depression. Depression affects 5 to 8% of Americans ages 18 and over in a given year. More Americans suffer from depression than coronary heart disease, cancer, and HIV/AIDS. Depression is among the most treatable of psychiatric illnesses. Between 80% and 90% of people with depression respond positively to treatment, and almost all patients gain some relief from their symptoms. But first, depression has to be recognized. Yeah, you could see posts on different websites or someone posting it on social media because someone had already harmed themselves because of depression. But no one is actually making this a big deal. We have to make this a big deal. We could have people around us, friends, family, that's going through this illness and we won't even know because we don't know the signs. One of the signs well, not signs, but how I think is one of the reasons why I don't really talk about what's going on, because I believe people can't help me or can give me good advice. That's why I don't tell a lot of people what I'm going through. So I think it would be a waste of time. I mean, it's good to talk to someone, but you want to be able to talk to someone that can give you good advice on how to cope with things and how to overcome it. If you feel that you don't have that support system, that's when people take their lives and harm themselves. We have to be aware of the signs so we can know. It could be a stranger, family, or friends. We just need to know the signs. The best, I would say, the best way to prevent suicide is through early detection, diagnosis, and treatment of depression and other mental health conditions. I believe everyone should know the signs of depression for the sake of a family member, friend, or even a stranger. We have to help one another conquer this illness. We as a whole have to make a difference to the people that really needs us. Sometimes when people ask me, like, hey, how's it going? How was your day? And have a good day. And that puts a smile on my face. Even though I'm not showing that I'm having a bad day or going through depression, just someone asking me how I'm doing. Is everything okay? That puts a smile on my face. I sometimes might not tell them what's going on, but just knowing someone cares, even if they are a stranger or it's coworker, anyone, it puts me in a good mood. Still have the issues in the back of my mind. I'm thinking about it, but it kind of takes my mind off of it for a while. And I just think that just the smallest things can make someone's day. So if you know anyone that's going through depression and they have thoughts of harming themselves, I want to leave the suicide prevention number on here for anyone that needs it. That number is 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-8255. If anyone wants to email me to just talk and need advice, I'll leave my email in the description. And just let me know if anything is bothering you. We can help each other out. I have my different methods. You might have your different methods, or you just need someone to talk to. Do not hesitate to email me or call this number. And that number is, one more time, it's 1-800-273-8255.